You know that the sooner you get started on your new building project, the sooner it will be completed. That being said, you're not entirely sure how your project's timeline is going to unfold, and you're not alone. While many people think of the start of their project as the moment construction begins, there is actually a lot of work that has to happen before anyone picks up a shovel, hammer, or paintbrush. This work, regardless of the specifics of your project, can be organized into 6 distinct phases, and construction doesn't start until the final phase. Phase 1, pre-design. In the pre-design phase, the architect that you're working with will collect all of the information about the project to use in the schematic designs that they create for you. This includes information about the site, any existing structures, codes, deed restrictions, septic information, site utilities, access, budget, and schedule. This is essentially an information gathering and processing phase. Phase 2, schematic design. In the schematic design phase, the architect that you're working with will generate a couple of different design options for you to consider, using all of the information gathered in the previous phase. These are not final ideas or fixed plans. Instead, they're meant to be conceptually evocative and to incite new ideas and feedback from you. This phase concludes when you select a scheme to further develop. Phase 3, design development. In the design development phase, the architect that you're working with will take the schematic plans chosen in the previous phase and begin to create digital drawings. They will make your project real by drawing the floor plan, and they will also begin thinking about materials. The building's systems will be developed in this phase as well: structural, mechanical, heating, lighting, and specialty controls. During the design development phase, you'll usually meet with your architect several times to discuss the evolution of the design, each time refining the level of detail and decision. This is also the phase where the architect that you're working with will start to bring other consultants onto the project so that they can contribute their expertise. The design development phase is the most cost-effective time to make changes to your project because your designs haven't been turned into detailed construction documents yet. Phase 4, construction documents. In the construction documents phase, the architect that you're working with will turn all of the information about your project into a detailed set of drawings and specifications that will be used by the contractor for pricing and construction. Think of it as an instruction manual. Before beginning this phase, you'll discuss with your architect whether you'd like to pursue a bid price contract or a negotiated contract, and they'll craft the drawings and level of detail in those drawings based on that decision. Once you reach the construction documents phase, even the smallest change can mean spending a lot more money, because it's likely that the other consultants working on your project will have to make changes to their parts of the design as well. Phase 5, contractor selection. In the contractor selection phase, which typically occurs alongside other phases of the work, especially if the contractor that you're seeking is in high demand, the architect that you're working with will help you to select and negotiate with a general contractor. And because they know people in the industry, they can refer you to potential candidates who they trust to do a good job. Phase 6, construction observation. Finally, in the construction observation phase, after the contract is awarded and construction begins, the architect that you're working with will act as your agent on site. They will monitor progress, review applications for payment, and ensure conformance with the contract documents. The architect doesn't tell the contractor how to do their work. They just make sure the contractor is doing the things that they contractually promised to do. Once construction is underway, money starts disappearing fast, so you want the fewest changes in this phase. Other considerations. Now that you know how your project is going to unfold, there are a few other things that can influence your project's timeline that you should consider. The first thing is how long it takes to get building permits in your city. Depending on where your project is located, getting building permits can take anywhere from a few weeks to multiple months. The second thing is the time of year that construction takes place. In northern climates, winter slows everything down because the ground is frozen and materials behave differently at colder temperatures. This is also why building in winter can be more expensive. There's just more effort and upkeep required. The final thing that you should take into consideration is you. How quick you are to sign documents, pay invoices, and make decisions will do a lot to influence how swiftly your project moves forward. That being said, while being punctual is important, you don't have to rush. In fact, the more time you can give your project, the happier you'll be with the end result. At Felix Culpa Architecture, we think that it's a good idea to build a time buffer into your project so that you can make decisions based on careful consideration and not stress. At the end of the day, no project goes off without a hitch. Materials get delayed, unexpected problems come up, and contractors change their schedules. So a time buffer allows you to meet any surprises with a clear head, and it helps you to avoid having to pay more for fast solutions. As you think about the timeline for your project, consider how important time is to you versus money. Within reason, a project can usually be completed more quickly if you're willing to pay more to speed up the process. That being said, at Felix Culpa Architecture, our clients care more about getting exceptional results than they do about getting fast results. If this sounds like you, contact Felix Culpa Architecture today to learn more about what we can do for you.